All right. Let the triggering begin. Welcome one, welcome all to a very special edition of the Wrestling Council, brought to you each and every week by our dear friends at the Outright Geekery Podcast Network. You can check them out at outrightgeekery.com. Hold on, let me make sure I give them the fair service. Boom. outrightgeekery.com. There we go. All right, guys. Now, I can tell this is going to be a interesting episode, but let me go around the round table here and introduce our fine cast of not yet ready for primetime players. Jokers to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, but down below me there, Mr. Comic Book Bob, returning once again, the returning champion. How are you, Comic Book Bob?
It's an upper body business, baby, and I'm here, so let's go.
All right, the gun show. I love it, man. Let's get it. All right, and to the right of Comic Book Bob, he is a comic book store owner who so far has not had his property looted. I have not heard that yet. So, Mr. Yule Carter, Big Blue Yule, how are you, sir?
I am wonderful, and in no way am I trying to court disaster, but you are correct. My store is afloat.
Do you want to give that address just in case anybody wants that?
You know, the funny thing is the old store where I still have product that I have to box up and, just take over to the other store. I could probably have left the door unlocked and nobody was going to come by there.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Well, up above, Yule Carter. He is the proprietor of the S&B network, although I hear that might be...
It's dead. It's dead.
It's the
name Talking Balls Network. It's official. The Talking Balls Network.
Well, congratulations, which is a fine program. My dear friend, this is my homie right here, Boogie Bentley. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. Lights out, dark out. It's a dark out here in the Boogie household.
We're mourning the S&B network.
Maybe a little. Not really. I'm excited, man. And look, we had some not fun conversations to come to the point that we came to, but at the end of the day, relationships are good. Friendships are still intact. We're moving forward, and never say never. A Comic Cast may return, but it's the Talking Balls Network officially.
All right. Well, I know Talking Balls is extraordinarily successful. I mean, you guys have done like remotes. One day, I hope to do remote with the Wrestling Council as well. And that's what we want to build it up to that level where people are like, hey, come to our bar and drink and talk wrestling.
It'd be amazing to go to a show. The four of us meet up somewhere, go to a show, and vlog the whole experience. It'd be amazing.
It'll happen.
I really think it will too.
We need to probably be next year though. The way things are going, I think
we need to pick a mud show and go, guys.
That would be even better. That would be even better.
Outlaw Mud Show. You better believe that. I have definitely been.
I've wrestled on a few of them.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, they had like duct tape on the ring ropes and everything. I mean, it was ghetto. And but it was. I mean, we had a great time. So that was it. Okay.
We got a fifth for that foursome, by the way.
Yep, my boy Hollywood.
All right, Hollywood Square. All right. Well, let's get into it because I noticed the thumbnail that I chose managed to start getting some reactions, if they were. So let's actually talk about that. But I do want to go but I want to go in order of the shows like normal. But let's talk about why that thumbnail is there. I didn't just put that up there as a hashtag or whatever. That was the last message at the intro of this week's edition of AEW Dynamite. Yeah. They put a message up, and then at the end it had Black Lives Matter. So I actually screen captured that and made that the theme. That made that the thumbnail for this week's edition of the Wrestling Council. So that is why that is there. It wasn't necessarily meant as a statement, but I've seen that a few people have taken it as a statement. But we can discuss Black Lives Matter if anyone wants to. But I guess we're going to have to, because if we start in order and we go to SmackDown, Oh boy. SmackDown
Yeah.
was interesting. It was definitely interesting this week. Just the way it opened with the controversial Jeff Hardy arrest. A lot of people had a problem with the way WWE SmackDown began this week, and some people were roasting it, like say a CM Punk. And then you also, since Jeff Hardy got arrested on SmackDown, I guess he did not tell his brother Matt.
No, he didn't.
Who is now signed to Tony Khan and AEW, that they were going to do this particular angle. And he was watching it live at home with his wife, and they were not happy. Both of them had some tweets to say about this. I know that Matt actually said that he is so glad to be now working for Tony Khan and AEW. And I saw Tony Khan, I can't follow him. He's very soy-based, and there's nothing wrong with being a liberal, but I don't always like some of his he's like way overboard with some of his things. And it's actually interesting because Shad Khan, his father, has been pretty hardcore conservative for decades. Although he did kind of have some differing opinions with our current president, Donald Trump. And but Shad Khan has supported and donated money to conservative causes for years and years and years. And then, like I said, he had some problems when Donald Trump started, like shutting borders down and, and kind of restricting travel to certain places and stuff. And he said some stuff about that. But he's been conservative and supporting Republican candidates for decades. But so it doesn't sound like his son possibly shares some of his political views.
His son went to college.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So father earned money, son went to college.
Yeah. It's like, okay. So,
you suck, Dad.
But anybody else, the Jeff Hardy,
sure thing.
Jeff Hardy,
man.
Honestly, I didn't care for it. I thought it was. It kind of reminded me of when they did that angle with Scott Hall. I didn't care for that either.
It's typical Vince McMahon.
Absolutely.
Or the Road Warrior angle.
Yeah, that.
Jeff Hardy has to have some control over what's going on.
There is. Does he? Jeff Hardy has control.
They didn't have to come back. They had to have been begged a little bit.
No, they didn't have to come back, but you're there now, and you've signed a contract. Do you think Jeff Hardy... You heard the John Moxley stories when he was there. You don't have control.
But John Moxley didn't come back. That's the difference. You are not putting this on Jeff Hardy.
I cannot believe Jeff Hardy went into his new contract.
I can't believe Jeff Hardy said yes to it. That's what I can't believe.
Well,
you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
You, Vince.
What are you going to go home? What are you going to go home? How?
Yeah. He could
Jeff Hardy go back to his compound and jerk off over there. Yeah, he's got daughters and a wife, right?
You guys are acting like it's on. No, it's on.
He doesn't need any freaking money anymore.
No, he doesn't need the money.
He owns all that land. He's the richest man in North Carolina.
Yeah, their father owned a bunch of land.
Dude.
Hardy's father was loaded, and I mean that's why they all live at the same place. I think Jeff Hardy. I know their mother died when they were children or whatever. They were like 9 or whatever.
They own so much land that even though Jeff and Matt technically live next to each other, there's so much distance between them.
Yeah,
they could do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, they both got their own compound
cut all sorts of crap in it.
Yeah,
dude, that's why they got the lava pits and all that weird stuff where they're dirt bike racing and all that.
That dirt bike track, Jeff built that on his land. That didn't even come close to friggin' Matt's area.
That's why I'm like, yeah, they were rich before they got in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's not about money; it's about legacy and wanting to. Finish out your career strong. And what are you going to do? Walk away and just never wrestle again?
But I just thought he'd go to AEW strong.
You can't if you're under contract.
If he breaks his back doing this stupid angle, what will he be afterwards anyway? He'll be like, oh man, remember that last angle he was doing? That was horrible.
But my point is, you can't walk away mid-contract and just go somewhere else. You can't do that.
The only reason why he can't walk away is because Vince McMahon's a dick, and he was injured during that time.
Jules in rare form tonight. We can't even have a
conversation. We all know. Rey Mysterio had a long-ass protracted contract because because his knee blows out every 3 months.
Yeah, well, that's the dirty underhanded business for WWE. Is if you get injured, your contract doesn't continue forward. They stall you. That's what they did. That's what they did to Brody Lee.
To stall you.
And meanwhile, they can fire you and then say, "Hey, come back during your 90 no complete clause."
What time did you start drinking today?
No, just started. A complete clause.
I wish I could.
Actually, earlier. I've been working also. So
I want to drink so bad.
Let's get past the Jeff Hardy, Vince McMahon, who's to blame part of it, and just talk about the segment itself was terrible.
It was
no matter who's to blame.
I like this. The guy is like alcohol.
Yeah. Well, I love the police. The police run in right, and they're telling Renee Young, "You got to back up. This is a crime scene." Meanwhile, Jamie Noble and a bunch of referees. Jamie Noble and a bunch of referees are in there, like just doing their thing, and it's like, what is going on? And then the meeting with Adam Pearce and the wrestlers.
Jamie Noble, right?
Yes, he's an agent.
I didn't know he was with. Okay, I didn't know he.
Yeah, he's an agent now.
Not fired, by the way.
The meeting with Adam Pearce, an absolute cluster. They're talking about the Battle Royal and Daniel Bryan's a hero. I will take on anybody, and AJ refuses, and God, what an absolute cluster of a start to SmackDown.
Yeah, Cole Irwin has a point. He says it was in poor taste, and the timing having an arrest angle on that day was particularly bad. The problem is a lot of that stuff is pre-taped.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely the show was pre-taped. It wasn't live.
And when they were going through all his problems with the police and everything, they made sure to leave out the last year's drunk driving.
Yeah.
So that this feels like, he's back on again.
That's a little too close.
That's the thing that I didn't like about it. That I'm like, come on, man. It's like we want to use it, but we don't want to use the part that he was here.
Right.
Okay. So at the end of the show, somehow Jeff Hardy, because they actually WWE Digital actually put a statement out after the show saying, we have discovered that that Jeff Hardy is innocent of this, and it appears that he has not been charged with it. They actually put out a statement, which I thought was weird.
They had to, because the story was stupid. It was like, even if he wasn't drunk, he's still your number one suspect because he was in the car.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, okay, obviously he came out and distracted Sheamus from defeating Daniel Bryan.
Making Daniel Bryan, is he ever going to get a clean win over Sheamus ever?
Is Daniel Bryan ever going to get the push that he deserves ever again? Probably not.
Does Daniel Bryan sit back and let his wife have sexual relations with other men? I've been curious.
What? This is a totally different show again.
We veered from SmackDown into Totally Divas for some reason.
Yeah, because
I think that's Total Divas.
Kind of makes him look like such a wuss that I'm like, I wonder what it's really like in that house.
Is he a wuss or is he a take it or leave it?
I think Adam's right here. Adam said he's either the hacker's going to reveal who the real drunk driver is. I think that's what's going to happen too.
Oh well,
it's going to be something stupid. It's going to be like
I don't think there's a real. I didn't think there was a real drunk driver. I thought it was something to do with Sheamus somehow staging Jeff Hardy, whether he drugged him or whatever, is what I thought the angle was.
Why would Sheamus go to that much? Just so that he could get in the Battle Royal, so that he could maybe
let's
win?
talk about that, Yul. Okay?
God,
My biggest pet peeve that I'm always ranting on is that WWE doesn't book matches. So let's take a look at SmackDown. The first match, Battle Royal. Why did that happen? Because there was a drunk driving accident before the show started.
Lacey Evans about Elias, the whole show.
Lacey Evans, Sonya Deville, that was a booked match. Congratulations, WWE. Third match of the night, Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks happened because of an argument on Monday.
Oh, yeah, that did.
Okay. Fourth match, Cesaro and Chad Gable happened because of beef in the
Argument,
Battle
yeah.
Royal. So that's a third match that wasn't booked.
like
Fifth
you did
match,
talk
Daniel
about
Bryan and Sheamus wasn't booked either. So the only match booked for the night, the only thing we were going to watch Friday night was that women's match between Sonya Deville and whoever she wrestled. The match with Lacey Evans.
If
That
it
was
wasn't for Daniel Bryan being as cool as he is, he didn't have to take a match at all.
He's a real man's man.
Battle. Yeah, he's a man's man, except for when he needs Jeff Hardy to help him.
Boogie, you can't call him Chad Gable. His name is Shorty
No,
G.
I intentionally put Chad Gable in my notes because I am no longer calling him Shorty G. I respect the man more than that.
See,
Shorty
that's the difference
G,
between him and Jeff Hardy. See, Jeff Hardy wouldn't have to take the Shorty G name now.
No, he's just doing drunk driving angles.
Well, he's probably
that
like,
would be funny if it was
cool.
Jay Uso
Oh my God.
for the Rock.
Oh my
That would
God.
be hilarious.
You're giving him way too much credit, Antonio.
to steal their old stuff. That was bad.
Because what the other Uso is out injured or whatever. He got injured during a couple weeks ago. So if they said after they pulled the storyline off and it turns out that it was Jay Uso, it would be a real long-term wrestling fans would be like, they would get that Mr. Miyagi.
Damn.
They would do it like that. It would be hilarious.
You're giving them too much credit, man. You're giving their creativity way too much credit.
Hilarious though. I did it.
So that battle royal, though, I really thought Uso should have won.
I did.
It would have been like that situation, like we always talk about. You have a tag team wrestler wrestling against somebody who's singles. He will give him a very good match up until the end, and then lose. And if his brother can't come back for a while, then you are building a single star potentially. And the Usos need something to like separate their look, a little bit. Maybe a belt.
Tag team anyway. I got to be honest about it.
You don't like him?
No.
I mean, they can do some moves. It's just something. There's a charisma thing, I think.
I don't know. I've always liked him. I've always
liked him, but I think they could do really. I do think that they need to freshen up their act a little bit. I think that's the problem.
It's gotten stale for me.
It's gotten stale. Well, part of that is also they keep putting them in the same programs with the same people over and over and over and over again.
Well, the tag teams that last are only the same people.
Yeah, exactly. The tag team wrestling in WWE is an afterthought.
Did anybody notice Drew Gulak, who was fired, was in the Battle Royal?
That's my point.
They rehired him. Yeah,
they hired him back.
Yeah, small. Okay. He asked for more money, and they're like, "Get out of here."
He felt like when they offered him originally, when he let his contract lapse, that they lowballed him. Which that's one thing. That's one thing that came out on Wrestle Talk, that a lot of the people that got released a few weeks ago, WWE is offering some of those people contracts back, but they're like really low offers and stuff. They were like, "Where else you gonna go?" AEW only has so many slots.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I'm going to talk about that in the Impact Report.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do that. But okay, so again, we're still on SmackDown. There is. Let's talk about the title of this particular episode. This is episode 37 of the Wrestling Council, and I called it Jaxson Ryker's Island. Now, why did I call it Jaxson Ryker's Island? Jaxson has been quite controversial over the last few days, and I didn't really think he was that controversial. He tweeted out support of our fine president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, and my God, all hell broke loose. Now, let's give some context here. His boss, the boss's son-in-law, who is also his boss, the boss's daughter, who is also his boss, the boss's son, who is also his boss, are all Trump supporters.
All Trump friends.
Yeah, and Linda McMahon used to be one of the
small business
secretary cabinet. Yeah, she was in the cabinet of the president. They are all Trump supporters. So from his employer standpoint, they're Trump people anyway. Okay, yeah. So Jaxson Ryker saying, "Hey, thank God for our POTUS," blah 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 blah, and then man, Kevin Owens came out.
Oh, there was one more thing though. He tweeted also.
Oh, well, that was way after the fact though. Right?
No, it was in the same tweet as.
Was it?
Thanking the
okay.
president.
Okay.
Hold on.
He said hashtag. What are they called? Boring no more.
No, forgotten no more.
Oh, I'm sorry, forgotten no more.
Oh wait, no, that was in the original tweet, right?
That
was in the original tweet because that's what Kevin Owens went on.
But that's my point. The thing is that we often hear how much we appreciate everybody's points of view, but what we don't want to hear is when they bring it into the, to whatever entertainment you are enjoying at the time. And that is exactly what he did. And the other guys might have problems with something, but that's what he did. He attributed his slogan with the other two members of the team for the Forgotten Sons, and he applied it to that tweet. And that ain't so cool.
They go through him under the bus, by the way.
Really quick.
Yeah, really quick.
I noticed that the one, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like, I may wrestle with individuals as a part of a tag team, but I am my own person. And he actually said Black Lives Matter and justice for George Floyd and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I was like, Kofi
Their next match is going to be real awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he had something to say about it. Kofi Kingston really, and Kofi Kingston has gotten some heat in the past. There's been a few things over the years where Kofi Kingston has saw some bullshit going on with WWE, and he said some stuff, and everybody was like, okay, well, Kofi Kingston did not appreciate Mr. Jaxson Ryker. I also noticed Ricochet had, Mustafa Ali said some stuff. There were a few wrestlers that,
it's like we were saying about Drew Brees. You got to read your room. You got a whole locker room full of dudes that aren't going to be happy.
The other thing, too, is
it wasn't that bad. But
Mustafa Ali was a police officer in Chicago.
Yeah.
He's out there. He's sitting there going, oh, wow. The whole thing, he got some heat. So then what they do when you say stuff that pisses people off, they, of course, start going through all of your social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he had a post, I think, from like
2017.
Oh, was it from 2017? Okay. So, I know it was an older post on his Facebook where he had talked about
it was a bodybuilding thing. He did that.
Oh no, you're talking about that one. Yeah, I'm talking about the other one.
The other one.
It was like Kramer and Seinfeld.
Okay. So there was a post on his Facebook from like about 2014 or so where he had talked about watching 12 Years a Slave and that you guys don't know how good you have it and all this kind of stuff. And he said that Black Lives Matter are all garbage. And that was, and I was like, okay. That one was the one that made him actually. Someone found that one, and he actually privated all his social media. He did not want anyone to see because they're trying to dig up anything that he may have said or tweeted or whatever in the past. Now, the one you're referring to—that's
the one they found first.
But the Black Lives Matter
man on it.
That's the one that's the one that caused him to like kill all of his social media.
Yeah, but that one's from like 2014 or so. That was it was at least 5 years old. But
if it's 5 years, you may get a pass.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Dude, go ask Kevin.
Bodybuilder one though. That's the one where I didn't get offended when I saw he was. He's in the. He's got that bronzer on. Did a lot of the bodybuilders. I used to watch ESPN and stuff, and the Mr. Olympia and all that. And they would, they put this bronzer on to like highlight their muscle tone and the definition and all their rips and the pecs and the abs and all that. And so he was posing in the mirror and he had the bronzer on and he obviously looked quite dark.
Dude, that was dark.
Yeah, it was real dark.
Screen right now.
Hey, what did I do to you?
The funny part was his head was a different color.
Yeah.
But that's what they all look like, Bob. That's what they all look like.
I mean, you shine lights, it won't be that bad.
Roderick Strong's going to be there soon. If you guys watched NXT, I mean, when the world shut down, I think he bought a tanning bed, and that's all he does all day long.
God, dude.
Oh man, but that's the thing. So I just the Soul Man thing. But you know how many people I've known over the time and have gone to like the 10. Man, I'm almost as dark as you, Antonio. And I didn't even get, oh my God, you said that. I didn't get freaked out and triggered by it. It is.
It's different when you're comfortable. And the thing about Twitter and other social media is you feel like you're only talking to the people that either like you or know you. And you got to realize that that's not the case. And Especially if you become somebody later on.
At that time or whatever, you know, you had a contract.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to bring up, man, is that it's social media, and we all know how social media is just like an absolute friggin' cesspool.
Dude, it's ridiculous right now.
They were getting Kevin Hart for 8 or 9 year old tweets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not like getting like you know, drag him for what he said and the opinion and everything, and debate him on that thing. I'm 100% behind that. But this crap with digging back through history, I think is kind of BS. Even though like the one that he did say that, I was like, well, Jesus, dude, like I don't know why he would say that. But
that's the thing you say now. That's the thing you say now. Oh, I have kids now, or it's bullshit. Sometimes in fact, it's a lot bullshit. You know, the one thing that, as crappy as Vince McMahon may be, he never freaking changes, and I mean that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, we get that Jeff Hardy thing; it's a bad thing. Man. We get something genius accidentally like the New Day, and that's good. You know. And
that don't give Vince McMahon credit for that.
Dude, you know what?
How dare you?
Signs the contract.
They made it for themselves.
He says, "Do it," and it happens. And he puts the right people in the right moment. A lot of times,
he sent them out there acting like a church.
All right, maybe I went a little overboard on the New Day.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Here's the thing, dude, man. Here's the thing when it comes to that. I don't know how many times there have been articles where wrestlers who are on the inside have literally said that Vince McMahon gets literally angry when somebody gets over on their own. He doesn't like it.
He doesn't want a superstar. And that's why when we were having the Impact conversation, whenever it was, yesterday or whatever, and then we started talking about WWE, and Antonio was talking about them needing somebody to become a superstar. Vince doesn't want superstars.
No.
Vince wants the WWE to be the superstar. It's like Dana White. Dana White wants the UFC to be the draw, not John Jones. He wants the UFC. That ain't going to happen. People want to see, whether you love him or hate him, the best fighter on the planet, John Jones, knock somebody out. They don't care what the promotion is.
John Jones, they had video of him. He was out on the street. He was out there like taking paint cans and stuff, and spray paint cans.
Okay, dude, to be fair, it's John Jones, man.
That
I don't give a crap.
That's a Saturday night
John
for
Jones
him.
walks up and says, "Give me the damn can." Yes, sir.
He was out there while I was like, oh man,
that's the baddest man on the planet. Don't you make a mistake about it.
That's crazy. So I was surprised. I was surprised to see that.
What was the NBA guy who beat the crap out of that dude that's trying to bust the windows of his car?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude!
I didn't see that.
He chased somebody. Somebody smashed his window in. There was a guy, and he smashed his window, and he chased the dude down and beat his ass.
Yeah,
good. He smashed his window in, and he chased that dude down and whooped his ass. And then, so I'm expecting that person to file a lawsuit against him, even though he should be able to counter that because of the destruction of his property and all that good stuff. And,
well, you got those judges that are saying that they're trying to say that destruction of property in this circumstance is not a crime. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I expect, since he has millions and the other person probably does not have millions, that there's going to be a lawsuit, even though he smashed the guy's window in on his vehicle. He's like, oh no, you picked the wrong car.
Actually,
it was J.R. Smith. Yeah, it was J.R. Smith. Okay.
Yeah. Jill brought up a good point. So who was the last legit superstar? Is it Cena?
Yes. Cena is a superstar. He's the last one. Roman Reigns, maybe.
I would say that Roman Reigns could be a superstar. But right now, I wouldn't put him on that level, man.
I agree. And if I'm going with what you guys are saying about Vince McMahon and wanting the company to be the superstar, then Roman Reigns is the perfect example of someone that he's going to put in that spot, you know?
Sure.
But Cena, if you think about it, he probably was on that cusp of Vince not wanting to push people, because we're already seeing The Rock leave during this time. And Cena still was able to get out.
Well,
so
the thing,
but you got to give Cena credit though. He carried that company when it sucked.
Yes,
he carried it when this diehard wrestling fan. You think it sucked because of him? I think the roster sucked.
I think it sucked partially because Cena was that guy that went to Vince and says, "I'll do whatever you tell me to do." And because Vince liked him so much, he made him the face of the company. And John went with it as best as he could. But the way that they booked him at times, it just fell really flat.
Well, you mean
and that's not really on Cena. That's on McMahon and the writing staff.
Yeah,
I mean-
I think John Cena gets a lot of hate, and I hated on that guy for a long time.
Yeah.
But I've come full circle. I respect the guy. I think he should go down. I think he should go down in history as a great wrestler.
Well, you know,
Shane
I was-
O'Mac. Shane
I
O'Mac
was
was the best in the
telling
world.
Jill that Jill B. Pill in the chat that I've always said, look, you look at Cena, and I want you to imagine like what Hulk Hogan was like as a wrestler.
Yeah, that's what. And
And then as a promo, and Cena is like better than almost everybody. It was, I'm like, there's going to be a person that's going to fill his spot, and he's going to suck. And we got Roman Reigns.
And Twisted Savage is right. This I put this on Vince. That Vince was on Cena's nuts so hard that it caused other people to get downplayed.
and that's why a lot of wrestling fans hated him.
Yeah.
Well, he put the kibosh on a lot of people's careers.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Well,
But when you look later in his career, when he's putting over guys like Kevin Owens, you know, and when he did the U.S. title open challenge, that's when I started respecting him. When he's going out there and having great matches with guys like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, you know, that's when I really started to appreciate what he brings to the business.
That's also incidentally when Vince started to move away from him because he was kind of doing things I don't think Vince really liked.
Sami Zayn was one of the people that had a problem with Mr. Ryker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
Well,
sure.
look
I'm
at the
sure.
guy. I mean, he's like got nationality in like a couple countries and can speak all these languages.
Yeah,
He's
it's
not going to be happy.
give it. I would.
Are
say
we
that-
still on SmackDown halfway
We're
into the
still
show?
on
Yeah,
everything.
Well, I
think.
mean, but it all flows together. So okay, but let's give SmackDown was just okay for me. It was all right.
I hated it.
I
it
hated it.
compelled me to the end. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest program, but it was probably one of the better SmackDowns.
There were two legitimately good matches that got ruined.
Matt Riddle got called up. That was another
Yeah,
one.
Matt Riddle got called up.
I'm excited about
Yeah,
that.
I am excited about that. I'm excited to see what bro. Yeah.
Bro. Cesaro versus Shorty G.
Stop it. Stop. No. No.
Was
We
decent
referred to
till the
him
end.
as Chad Gable.
Chad
What was
Gable.
his partner's name?
Z, baby.
Kurt Angle's
Was I
son.
the only one who watched that
Jason
Man-
Jordan.
Okay, I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
was I the only one that watched that Mandy Rose Otis thing and just cringed hard?
Oh,
so hard?
it was bad.
What was
My-
up?
Oh,
with
I
that?
thought Antonio was gonna love it. I hated it. I thought Antonio
I
would be
almost
like,
got
"Oh."
whiplash. I cringed.
When
so
they
hard.
made out, I thought Antonio would be like, "Yes."
So
No,
Mandy
because
Rose was
she
having a
always looked
dream.
like she wanted to vomit. She always looks like she wants to vomit when she has
she
to let
looked
him
good
touch
this
her.
time.
And this time,
She's into it.
There were at least 3 different, and I mean, they weren't just because there were other times she's kissing me and like, and they're like that, and she actually, it looked like. I wonder how many takes they had to do because she actually leaned in.
She
like,
got done one and done, dude.
I'm
Oh,
telling you,
man.
I wonder if somebody said something because
I
when
wanna-
you started
I wanna-
harping on it, it changed shortly after that.
I mean,
I want you guys
she's
to
playing
know.
in a relationship with this guy, and it looks like it makes her skin crawl to touch him.
Because it does.
It's not
'Cause
that
it
bad
does.
anymore.
No, not anymore. I'm talking about at the beginning. Though.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right,
And
so she's sleeping. She's dreaming about being in, like, standing out. Or so
Yeah,
she's dreaming.
yeah,
Okay, no,
okay.
check this out. Mandy Rose is sleeping and she's dreaming, and
It's
she's
a fantastic-
dreaming that
it's
she's
Fast Times
over
at
here in the
Ridgemont High.
back watching her hanging out with Otis. There's
Yeah.
3 Mandy Roses in that segment. I just
Yeah.
want you to know that.
So it's
That's
a
all.
Mandy Rose from an alternate dimension or something. So it's parallel universe. Mandy.
3 Mandy Roses. in
Bizarro Mandy Rose.
Cringe.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
it was definitely not the thing.
Yeah.
But that's like I said, that's SmackDown. So now we move to they finally showed, although it was
that. Oh no,
edited.
it's Monday.
Monday Night Raw. A little cringy. They did show the Nia Jax with Kyrie Sane match.
Oh,
But they edited.
1,000% Nia Jax's fault.
I've heard that they had to shoot that in 2 parts because once her head got busted over, they stopped filming and they weren't going to show the match at all. And they said Kyrie wanted to, get herself taken care of and finish the match.
Yeah.
So they came back and, spliced the 2 together. They just picked up where the bump happened or whatever.
Yeah.
So, someone buried Nia to Dave Meltzer, but they were too big of a pussy to actually allow their name to be used.
They have to do that, man.
They have to do that because Vince
Number
will fire them.
You can't just say the entire roster.
That's more accurate. But Meltzer will lose his contacts too, which we don't want to happen.
And also, we've seen what happens when somebody speaks out about behind the scenes stuff. Vince will have them axed instantaneously.
But I've heard a lot of people say that Meltzer's contacts are not wrestlers. They're
office.
Yeah, the office people, so people that write the storylines and all that kind of thing.
Trainers. I know that he's supposedly got a couple trainers.
I want to say this about it though. There's no doubt it was Nia's fault, but at the same time, if I'm gonna shoot somebody into the steps, I may give it some force. And she lost her footing.
Well, she lost her footing because of the velocity.
She lost her footing before she shot her in. But the problem is, that's why you don't shoot somebody in so hard.
Right.
It was Nia's fault, but also there's more that goes in. It's easy to sit on the outside and go, "Oh, well, that's all Nia's fault." You don't know what's going on. The only two people that know are those two. That's it. Nobody else knows. But everybody's ready to fire somebody, and it's Nia's fault.
I don't think
everybody's attacking.
I don't think she should be fired. I do agree with a couple of other people, including some professionals, that she needs to go back and she needs to work on it. She needs to work on her skills.
Never going to happen. You'll just hit the nail on the head. But you can't go back. It's like playing minor league ball, getting called up to the big leagues, and then going back. That's it. When you go back down, it's over.
That's why Charlotte's on every show.
Where are they going to send her? To NXT to be on USA on Wednesday night instead of Monday night?
There's a bunch of NXT people that never are on television.
There is no way you're sending
her ring awareness.
I'm using this loosely, a star to not work in NXT.
Superstar.
The problem,
she'll be working off the air.
Thanks,
she'll be training. They'll take her. They take stars off the television all the time.
Because here's the thing, it
ain't gonna happen.
The big problem she has is her ring awareness. Her ring awareness is shit.
She'll never get it. She doesn't.
But that's something that you
can
work on.
She's greener than. I always compare them.
Goose shit. Say it, Yule.
Than Nyla Rose. She's greener than her.
Nyla, I would work with Nyla Rose way before I would work with Nia.
Really,
Jax.
after this week?
They're very similar. They're very similar.
But
they've got
Nyla looks like she's trying to make sure she doesn't hurt people.
Nyla's a man wrestling women every week.
Look, if Nyla was her original state, I wouldn't want to be in the ring with her either. Him either.
Can I go on a tangent?
Yeah, please
and
do.
I want to put the live chat on blast. We got our regular fans here. They're here. If you guys want me to never say this again, put a 1 in the chat and I'll let it go. But this is what I'm going to say, and I've said it every week. There's too much fluff. There's too much bullcrap on Raw.
Yes.
So much so. There were so many promos and recaps that the show had a couple of good matches, but they were so spaced out. And I think I said this in our private chat. The show opened with Rollins versus Aleister Black.
Good match.
There was so much bullcrap between that and the second match that we got a video package recap of the first match before the bell rang for the second match. So, look, too much fluff, too much bullcrap. If you don't want me to say that ever again, put a 1 in the chat. I won't say it again. We all know it's fact. So if I just need to let it go and just review Raw for what it is.
Hammering it. I want you to keep
it's
hammering
the truth,
man.
You
didn't like the Street Profits and Viking Raiders?
Oh.
Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you is I don't like an Angel Garza, Zelina Vega backstage promo, Shawn Michael hyping the greatest wrestling match ever, Lashley and McIntyre recap video, Lana and MVP fighting backstage over Lashley, and then a recap of the match that just happened 30 minutes before. All of that bullcrap that you just made me watch. And I'm not pulling punches. AEW did the same bullcrap this week on Dynamite. Too much bullcrap. I want to watch wrestling. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Did you watch? Let me just really quickly, and this isn't to derail anything, on NXT. Did you watch that by any chance?
We're getting to NXT because I want to talk about Drake.
No, we'll never talk about it. So I just want to get this really quick. They had a really good.
My notes.
Oh, it is. Yeah, but we'll never get to it. Come on, let's be real.
But you're screwing me up. So,
all right, I won't say anything.
Okay, so
come on, Yule.
NXT is definitely in my notes. So
okay,
let's kind of I kind of watch it. I watch those little clip packages of Raw unless something major happens. So I saw the big stuff. I definitely wanted to see where she took the bump and that was ugly and the whole deal. And I watched some like woke culture, like British guys going, "Oh, it's not brilliant. Oh, that is brilliant. Oh, she might need to be retrained. Oh, she might need to be
the Omni Flare."
Yeah, all that kind of thing. So I was watching, the British guys, and they were just talking all this. Everything good, even stuff that I think sucks. They think it's brilliant. Oh, I love this. Right? AEW's the best show on television. Oh.
Raw sucked.
Raw was awful.
Yeah,
Raw was absolutely terrible. My favorite thing on Raw is Apollo Crews getting a push, but when he talks, he sounds like
Vince might be souring on his ass though. Already.
Well, he sounds like what's the dude's name that did Reading Rainbow? LeVar Burton. That's what he sounds like when he cuts promos. Identical, man, identical. But I love Apollo Crews, and I'm glad to see him finally get a chance to go out there and wrestle.
Yeah, and the match would have been good if it hadn't been for the freaking BS at the end of it.
Well, why in that match? Good opening, showcasing some good wrestling, and then there's and I saw this twice on wrestling this week, accidental low blows, and the ref steps in and says, "Time out. There's a low blow. Are you good? Are you good? Back up. We got to let him recover. Are you okay? Was that a low blow? Are you okay?" Is this MMA or wrestling? Because where I come from, a low blow is a DQ. Or you do it behind the ref's back, and it's heel tactics. But now it's accidental. Are you okay? Quit trying to make wrestling MMA, Vince. Stop it.
I've seen MMA where they continue, right?
But what I'm saying is, if it's a close nut shot in MMA, right? You got 5 minutes to recover.
Stiff.
You got 5 minutes to recover. That's not the case in wrestling. Stop trying to be MMA.
I finally saw that Riddle match, and I see what you're saying as far as like the trying to mix WWE and MMA stuff. And it is, they changed the rules of that match to kind of like screw with everything also. So that was a thing also.
You know how I would have liked it if they turned it into like a Ken Shamrock Lions Den thing? And they even mentioned the Lions Den. I would have been cool with, but it's like this is a throwaway match and Riddle gets called up, and it's all pointless.
Yeah. Losing on NXT is sometimes the best thing that can happen to you.
Yeah, that's an immediate call-up.
So we're done with Raw because I do want to talk about because I want to move over to.
I'm done with.
I want to talk about Drake Maverick. The Drake Maverick because
Drake Maverick.
Wait, can I do the Impact report?
Oh, well, okay, let's do that. Do you think, Boogie?
You know me, I can get this done in 2 minutes. Opening match: Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz beat Kylie Ray and Susie. Not great. Kylie Ray is the bright spot for the women's division in Impact Wrestling. Joseph P. Ryan pinned Crazy Steve after an assist from OVE. Mediocre match, but immediately after, Jake Christ turns on his brother and joins Cancel Culture. There was a match between Rohit and Chase Stevens. I'm not even going to talk about it. There's a flashback moment, and this pisses me off with Impact. They love, if you follow them on Facebook, they love to highlight the top guys in WWE. So the flashback moment is Drew Galloway, now McIntyre, versus Bobby Lashley. Does that match sound familiar to anybody? That's the flashback moments. The Rascals beat TJ Perkins and Falaba for a #1 contendership. I like TJ Perkins and Falaba as a tag team. I was kind of hoping they would win this, but the Rascals are going to take on the North, who is the longest reigning tag team champions in Impact Wrestling history. Elgin comes out, cuts promo, and then Shamrock comes out. Does anybody want to see Ken Shamrock wrestle? Juiced up 60-year-old? No.
No, he scares me. Yeah.
Main event.
Grandpa, stop.
He's jacked, dude.
He is
jacked.
Would I screw with him? No.
Shamrock is a good example of what TRT can do for you.
No, it's steroids, Bob. Let's not.
You're hoping like if you get in a fight with him, they blows a hammy like Kevin Nash or something.
Very, very possible. Main event: Ace Austin set to take on Dre for the #1 contender spot for Antonio's favorite wrestler, Tessa Blanchard's Impact Wrestling World title. But Trey gets taken out in the locker room. So for absolutely no reason, his tag team partner Wentz comes out, steps in. Ace Austin gets the win and is the #1 contender. The news of the hour is the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary trailer that they put out. And they're talking about the guys that got released. I'm talking a who's who of wrestling. Gallows and Anderson Why are you shaking your head, Yul?
I just don't see it.
I think it's going to be one,
It's
maybe
all
two
bullshit.
of them. I think it's one, maybe two of them.
I would not, and they didn't show Rusev, but they showed the flag. You know, they're teasing. I think Mike and Maria. I could definitely see.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
they could
definitely.
be down,
Yeah,
though.
for sure.
I could see a deal though where they got EC3, they get Gallows and Anderson, they get a lot of these guys to come in for a one shot for the pay per
one
view.
shot, yeah.
Gallows and Anderson. Does anybody listen to Talking Shop? Gallows and
Yeah.
Anderson's podcast. You guys need to listen to it. It's crack a beer, take your pants off, and let's have a good time for 30 minutes. But they are going to tell all once their contract expires. So subscribe to the Talking Shop podcast. Go listen to it. 30-minute episodes, good times. That's it. That's the Impact Report. I went.
I agree with you. Just real quick on that, I agree with you. If all those guys are going to be there, it's going to be like a one shot thing, and then maybe like one or two of them stay. I think EC3 is the one that stays.
Yeah,
Eric Young may
with
stay.
AEW. That's
Eric Young too. Yeah.
Guys that don't matter. Like if they sign Gallows and Anderson, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
You know
They're
what
going
about
home. They're going to Japan.
I think
you
so
couldn't
too.
believe that Impact was still around. I can't believe that Crazy Steve is still around. And it's two Z's, so it's the dumbest name ever.
Well, he wasn't the problem in that match. I mean, you and I have talked about Joey Ryan before. He's very mediocre in ring.
He's a character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he
all.
is a character.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
it. That's the Impact Report.
That's
Sorry,
the Impact
I
Report.
went
Okay,
long.
so we're on NXT. The only real thing I want to talk about is Drake Maverick because there has been some blowback. And Drake has done a couple of interviews and stuff about this now, where obviously he did not become the NXT Cruiserweight Champion or whatever. He did not become the Cruiserweight
Interim.
Either way, he
They
didn't
didn't
win.
say interim when the match was over. I'm like, you.
No.
Sorry, yeah,
Poor Jordan Devlin.
he came in second, and then mysteriously, as he was crying and that's the thing, his crying when he got legitimately released, and he filmed himself on the twatter there, and he was crying and like it got shared, and it was like 4 million people watched it, and
That was real.
That was
Yep.
real.
Yep.
And this time, he's like, and
You don't think he looked
didn't
exactly the
real.
same?
It
No,
was
I
phony.
think it
Yul,
was
stop it.
it was
That's
cringy.
There's gonna be a
character.
comment in
That's
a second.
character, Yul.
No, it is not.
Yes,
There's gonna
it
be a
is.
comment in a second backing me up.
It was so fake. See, you wait a minute. Yul and Jill, you guys think this is real?
No, the whole goddamn thing's been fake from the very
No. I
No,
disagree.
it wasn't.
I
It
disagree.
wasn't. No, he got legitimately released.
I think so too.
And no, this is what's been going. And I'm talking about like guys like Meltzer and all this. So many of the dirt sheets I've looked. He got legitimately released, and then he did that crying video, and it got him some heat. And
So he
then
was
they-
released
he had
like
millions of
15
views on his
hours.
thing.
yeah,
What
and
he's
then they
telling me.
said they approached him, and they were like, "Wait a minute, we might actually," because that's why a lot of these guys were released. It was the old Vince line that JR would always talk about. Oh, unfortunately, we don't have anything for you. That's what they told Dr. Death Steve
Well, let's
Williams.
at least
and everything.
think that
Creative has nothing for you.
Yeah.
let's say his
Creative has
original
nothing for you.
crying maybe was his version of a work.
Here's the thing,
he was
disagree.
playing it.
Disagree.
It was not real crying.
Here's the thing, though. We know Vince looks at online metrics. He looks at that.
Oh, he
Twitter
definitely looks at
and he
online
saw that, and he was like, "We can use that."
But there was
We can
even a
use
comment in the chat saying that Vince doesn't like when people get over on their own.
That's
And that
true.
would be exactly what that is.
Well,
But
But-
sometimes it's to an extent, like the Yes movement, that you can't deny it.
Yeah, I hear you.
and that's
I hear
what
you.
I'm saying. So this is
the yes movement. Though?
Here's the other thing, though. Too.
No.
Here's the other element here, though. This is NXT. This may have been Triple H taking advantage of this.
Let me
That's
say,
either
let me
way.
say this too. If Yule's right, then Drake deserves all the praise in the world because it was amazing.
Yeah.
The
He
first
did a
time
good
around.
job.
Last
No,
night,
but he-
last
You
night
want
not
to
so
like
much.
him.
The one
Yeah.
interview where he actually he gave a statement on it because of some of the negative blowback, because they were like, there were people that really got fired, and it looked like you did this as a storyline, and he was like, it didn't start out as a storyline. I got legitimately released, and then obviously it got some traction. A lot of people were sharing my video and all that kind of stuff, and then they all of a sudden they had something for me. They were like, whoa. And he said he sat down with them and he proposed this angle where he would really secretly resign.
Yeah.
But they would drag it out like, oh, if he loses one more time, he's out of the tournament, blah, 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 all this kind of thing. So he said that part was his idea, to kind of work it, to make it into the storyline. It's something that happened in real life, and he went viral, and he had something that they could sell again.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
even if it was only short term, because one of the things that I have heard is that they're actually going to a lot of the talent that they released, and they're re-signing them and lowballing the crap out of it.
Yeah, they are. Are.
And if this was their way of getting over I told you guys I don't really like cruiserweight matches at this point in time, especially in the WWE. But I was kind of invested in that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to see what happened.
Jill's going off. Drake worked the S out of it.
Hey, Jill, how many matches you had, bro?
Oh, you're gonna go there? You're gonna be like, you weren't into it, so you don't know what the F is going on. Oh, I see. Okay, so all
that pisses off wrestling fans, but it's the truth. It drives me nuts when people tell me that they know more than somebody that's been in the wrestling business.
Yeah,
you're wrong.
I'm just saying that
you're wrong every time.
You know what? 2 more years of this, and I agree. I am in the wrestling business. So take that, Rosenberg.
You're in the wrestling business? How many matches you had, Yule?
It doesn't matter. What, JR isn't in the business? How many matches has he had?
JR is in the business, though.
I tell you what, JR doesn't know as much as anybody that stepped in that ring.
Oh, damn. So,
what's true?
He knows more about other things than people in the ring.
A referee knows as much as a wrestler.
The first person to take someone down that comes in the ring that's not supposed to be there, the referee.
That's not true.
It sure seems it.
Maybe sometimes. Not on those outlaw machos. There was a time that I was in the back, and I'm sorry. I got to tell this story, Antonio. We can do overtime. I'm in the back. I'm in the back. I just had the match. I had my singlet on, the straps down, just fat gut hanging out. One boot off. I was unlacing the other one. Somebody comes through the locker room and says, Brian Logan just smacked a fan. I look at my tag team partner, 6'7", 300-pound super destroyer, and I said, "Let's go." And we immediately walked through the curtain. We were going to the ring to fight because that's your brothers. It doesn't matter if it's a baby face or a heel. If a fight breaks out, all you got is your brothers.
Well, no kayfabe?
No, there is no kayfabe when you're in a National Guard armory and a fight breaks out. Thankfully, we walked through the curtain and there was no fight, and we went back and I got undressed and changed clothes. But if you got to go fight with one boot on, you go fight with one boot on.
But okay, my basic thing. Okay, so look, I want to close this one thing out because the big thing, like I said, the whole thing about the Drake Maverick, because I thought that was interesting. Is Drake Maverick a piece of shit from taking his misfortune and flipping it into a nice, fat, juicy contract?
No, he deserves all the credit.
If you don't have a contract with the Fed. If you're one of the guys like Zack Ryder, maybe.
Although, again, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins on the Jericho podcast, is pretty clear to me. If they don't sign the AEW, I'm shocked because everybody that Jericho has had on the last few weeks that was released, all of a sudden shows up on AEW.
Did he have Rusev on yet?
No.
He's got to do the Slammiversary pay-per-view first, Yule.
Okay. So, here we go. Okay. So, like I said, Drake got released, and now he has a job, and some of the other ones still don't. It's a very similar situation with Kurt Angle. They said Vince brought Kurt Angle back because they were hearing rumors that he was going to sign and show up on AEW television, and that's the only reason Kurt Angle is back.
Was that when he reffed that Riddle match? Because I think that was during his 90 days.
Introduced Riddle on SmackDown as well.
That was actually because he was still technically on their 90-day clause. But they offered him that deal, and actually he didn't take it.
Yeah. So,
what a waste of money. You're paying a guy to introduce Matt Riddle. How about you just throw a vignette and move on?
I think still sell his merch and all that other stuff.
So there was an NXT vignette that happened where it talked about all the women that are going to be fighting at the pay-per-view this weekend, and I thought it was pretty good. And that's all I'll say. That's what I wanted to say.
Are they all hot?
Well, it's Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair. And it was like, it was like a one of those documentaries you would watch during like an AEW show. And I thought it was very well done. In fact, AEW or not AEW, excuse me, NXT sometimes does some really good filming stuff, and the only people that do better or equal is AEW, because I thought that Britt Baker thing was awesome. If we're gonna get into that, well, where she's no words at all during that, and it totally conveyed the message that they were, she's a shit heel, she's working out so strong,
you
but not
destroying me because I'm like, I've got all the stuff that I want to play, and I'm
Yule's on fire, man.
I'm just trying to lead into it for you. Get out of NXT.
Okay. So obviously, AEW Dynamite. The thumbnail for this particular broadcast here with the Black Lives Matter, I saw different people on social media. They were like, why the hell is AEW so woke?
Because they are.
But they're tweeting out like a lot of the celebrities in Hollywood's like, your life matters.
They had rainbow graphics in their intro from day one.
Yeah. So, and Tony Khan is huge, like I said, unlike his father. His father was, supporting Republicans, and until he had the small, which I'm assuming he's still Republican though, but he had some disagreements with our president, and but I've noticed from they've gone out, with Sonny Kiss and Nyla Rose and all this, they've gone out of their way. Not to mention, one thing we didn't talk about last week was they tried to get on Jim Ross again for misgendering Sonny Rose.
No.
I heard that.
He got totally
Sonny
vindicated.
Rose, Sonny Kiss bailed him out.
Yeah,
dude, it's totally true though. I mean, dude says, I don't care if you call me he or she or him or her or what.
Yeah, but the fans were getting on to Jim Ross.
So what? When you got the freaking wrestler who doesn't
had
care.
To block
that doesn't matter, Yule.
No,
doesn't matter.
To me, I don't care.
It's not about them, it's about my opinion, Yule.
Exactly, Bob.
So like Sonny Kiss's opinion doesn't matter. Like Sonny Kiss told probably JR what was cool, maybe.
No. Jim Ross thought that
he screwed up. But even still, so what? Sonny Kiss is cool about it.
I'm starting some shit here.
No, Sonny Kiss is cool about it. I totally respect.
And that's one of the things I saw. Jim Ross made sure he retweeted Sonny Kiss saying that he's okay with he or she as far as pronouns, because they were, like I said, there were a lot of people like, how dare you misgender you misgendered Nyla Rose and now you misgendered Sonny Kiss.
Dude, he bends over backwards all the time to help Nyla Rose out.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
I thought you were talking about Sonny Kiss.
If this guy screws up because he's old,
I
mean, seriously? What, you hate JR? Oh, when JR's gone, he won't be around anymore. And, he's not even that good anymore, But
I think JR's coming into his own. I think he's been doing well.
He's been doing fine, but let's be real.
I think the whole commentary team has been getting better.
I think they've been getting better, yeah. I think it's because they're
how
working
dare
together.
you, Yule?
They're working with each other.
These guys talk about the stroke all the time. This one time I'm saying he was better than, obviously. And he doesn't know these performers as much, and
what, he's trying. I respect the fact that he's trying.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's learning to lean on Shivani and Excalibur more, and he's just basically making commentary about the match itself. He doesn't talk as much about the wrestlers anymore.
Okay, so
that's what Excalibur's for.
I never thought I was going to defend JR tonight.
Well, no. Okay, so let's go. We have to go back in time and go back to last week, how AEW Dynamite ended. Chris Jericho, Mike Tyson confrontation. Boom. Okay, so this is one thing I want to talk about with AEW, because one of the MMA guys, I can't remember. You may remember some of the guys that came out with Tyson. We had
Rashad Evans, Henry Cejudo,
I think
Vitor Belfort.
One of the gentlemen took a video of himself backstage.
I can't remember who that was.
And he put it up on the gram. In the video, in the background, you see Chris Jericho and Tyson, and they're hugging it up and cutting up like they're old buddies after they had just had a big scrap on the air.
I thought they want to kill each other.
Yeah, so it kind of even, so it destroyed kayfabe. Another thing that showed up, I'm assuming this was taped, this was filmed after Double or Nothing. There was a photo that Tony Khan tweeted out with himself and Cody Rhodes in there with the championship, Mike Tyson, and on the side of Cody and was the Murder Hawk and Jake the Snake Roberts. And they just had this big thing. And I was like, okay.
It's dead, man. Kayfabe's dead.
So AEW is not even pretending that kayfabe is a thing anymore.
But neither does WWE.
Well, really. I just don't think you should take pictures with people after you just got in a program with them. I just think that's weird to me.
He humped your wife. Come on, man.
I'm sitting there smiling after they just try to kill each other in the ring, and I'm like, come on, man.
It'll never be the same. It'll never be the same again.
Tyson, there's times it is. You need crazy fans, though.
Big Daddy.
But like I said, when I see Tony Khan tweeting that, I was like, that's your business, Tony. And you're tweeting out a photo with your two guys that just were in the championship match for the TNT champion, or the TNT championship. I was about to say TNA, but I was like, no. But the television title or whatever you're calling it, I was like, that just and Jake the Snake was like, yeah, Caesar and all that. He was doing all that, and they're all sitting there like, oh, I was taking a picture with Mike Tyson.
Jill's asking me in the chat if kayfabe should live on or what. My thoughts on it. Everybody, we all know wrestling is fake, but what Antonio is saying, don't slap us in the face with it. Like that's my problem. Like I can sit down and watch wrestling and escape reality. We all can. But don't tweet on social media immediately after. So should kayfabe live on? It's dead. We all know it's dead. But at the same time, don't slap me in the face with it.
Not to MJF right now, at least, and everybody loves him.
MJF is like the gold standard, though, man. He's a very different cat.
Jericho can be sometimes also, but then sometimes he's not.
You know what I love is a Brock Lesnar match. And the best matches are when you watch, and it's like I've heard Jim Cornette talk about it over and over and over. And he's like, you go to the matches and you watch everything, and it's like, I know this is fake. I know this is fake. And I've told you guys this before. When I wrestled, I laid it in. When people went home, I wanted them to say, I know wrestling is fake, but I tell you what, that Super Destroyer and Justin Matthews, they beat the hell out of those guys they were wrestling. There was something real about that. And that's what Brock Lesnar brings to the table. Give him a little doubt. Do those guys not like it? Like, there are times Brock Lesnar's wrestling, and I'm like, dang, man, are you going to take that? Like, I don't know. This can be a little rough. I love it. I love stiff wrestling matches. And that's the way I always wrestled. And for that reason, I wanted them to remember me. The guy could go out there and do flips and hoo-ha and all this gaga, and I would punch a dude right square. I would never hurt somebody, but there's nothing wrong with an open forearm to the back or the chest or a chop. All that is good wrestling. Can I talk about my favorite thing on Dynamite?
We gonna, like I said, we're gonna do it, but you just mentioned two things that I need to get out. Okay, so we just talked about Tony Khan. The other is Chris Jericho. Okay, Tony Khan's Twitter timeline is crazy because he was going in on Linda Hogan.
Linda Hogan said something.
Linda Hogan tweeted out some stuff about it was like all black people out there looting and rioting and all this. She said
Afro-American.
Yeah. It was real cringy. And then Tony Khan said that she is, like her husband, has been permanently banned from all AEW events. That thing. So Tony Khan said that. And then I again have to rewind a little bit. The whole Chris Jericho doing the interview about what Jim Cornette had said about the Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing. Obviously, he didn't like it, and Jericho said that if you didn't like that, you didn't have a soul. Blah blah blah. Then people started going in and digging through Chris Jericho's timeline, and he had taken a picture with Donald Trump Jr., and they tagged Jim Cornette in, and he was like, F you, Chris Jericho, blah, blah, and all that. You know how he does. Because he definitely does not like, Jim Cornette does not like Donald Trump at all. And so he did not know that Chris Jericho But that had been going around that Chris Jericho, and then there was another thing with Chris Jericho. They were doing the Black Lives Matter thing, and he tweeted out the All Lives Matter to someone responding to them, and people started going, "Oh, so Chris Jericho's a racist now." And apparently, Chris Jericho donated $5,000 to George Floyd's family. Which thank you for that, Chris Jericho. I'm sure they appreciate it. He didn't have to give the $5,000, so he gave out of his own pocket, and I don't have $5,000 to donate to Mr. Floyd and his family. How much? His daughter. Although I hear that certain people have donated. Kanye West gave $2 million to a fund. To a couple of people that have died.
Easy went overboard, man.
It set up a college fund for George Floyd's daughter and all this kind of thing. So, but people are saying that Chris Jericho, he's a bad guy, blah blah blah, Trump supporter, blah blah blah, all that. We have to cancel people because they have politically supported people that you don't agree with, and I suspect that Tony Khan and Chris Jericho's politics do not align based on some of the pictures that Mr. Jericho had on the social media.
Let me ask you a question. Since we kind of ran over it, I mean, we did talking about Tony Khan, but they have that opening sequence where they said, your voices matter and all that other stuff, and then it ended up with Black Lives Matter. Again, bringing politics at least a bit into a pretend arena, are we supposed to be escaping all of that, addressing it? Was that done perfectly? I'm just curious on what you guys thought about that. Was it done as well as it could possibly be? It didn't seem as self-serving as it could be. All that stuff. It was okay.
Well, I mean, it's all going to be on some level a little self-serving.
Corporate.
You're talking about a massive corporation doing something.
Right. McDonald's says Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Does anybody think McDonald's gives a shit?
No, there's been a lot of cringe, all that corporate cringe shit on because Popeye's chicken was so bad.
Oh my God.
Popeyes was like, no shit, don't say anything. Duh.
Popeyes embarrassed themselves.
Yeah.
It's like Black Lives Matters to Popeyes. And all of a sudden they realized, they were like, oh shit, we probably
ridiculous.
Wasn't it something? It was really
their whole advertising campaign.
Popeyes wouldn't exist without Black Lives.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow.
They obviously got some blowback. They deleted that tweet so quick, but everybody had screenshots.
How can they not understand that is what I'm trying to get at. I mean, it's like, who's on your social? Dude, this is when they say, you should have some black people in the advertising so that you can run it by somebody so they don't think it sucks. You idiots!
Oh God,
that's like Shaq being on the board for Papa John's.
Yeah.
Well,
right after all those racist comments happened, he comes in on the board. Yeah. He comes in, he's like, "I'm going to fix things." I love Shaq.
Yeah,
I love the reality show.
I ordered Papa John's during the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. So that's what I was eating, by the way.
If they're racist, they make a good pizza.
Yeah, I enjoy Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. But okay, so Tony Khan is really liberal, even though his dad was Republican. Chris Jericho, apparently is a Trump supporter and he's a bad guy. And he said all lives matter and everybody hates him or whatever. And even though I don't care.
Do you think that's a thing though? Let me ask you, all lives matter? Jill is like, don't you dare say all lives matter. And of course I just did. When someone's saying that rather than, just falling in step and saying Black Lives Matter, what do you think about that?
It becomes a parroting thing I've started to see now. It's just like a lot of people saying Black Lives Matter don't give a shit about Black lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest about it. That's why I was I did that. I did a morning stream the other day and I said, I'm Black every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Black on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't, when this all the outrage dies down and everybody just goes back to their normal shit, I'm still going to be Black. So a lot of that's the thing. And I like I said, that's why I noticed, especially on Chris Jericho's Instagram, I started noticing he did the blackout thing and he was doing. I was like, are they getting on you that bad? I was like, because he was like, hey, guy, because he had said something about the guys rioting, and then they were like, oh, how dare you say something about people rioting, and people were giving him shit for that.
It all makes me uncomfortable. Like, it drives me nuts when it's okay, I'm going to change my profile and I'm going to black it out because that's what everybody's doing. And if I do that, then that means I support black people. And it's like, it just makes me uncomfortable, man, because it's like I judge people on a case-by-case basis. I don't care their race, religion, whatever. I judge humans as humans. And it's like, I don't know, man. It bothers me and it makes me because I can't sit here and pretend to know what you've gone through, Antonio. I can't. So I don't want to be out here.
Chris Jericho knows what I've gone through.
Well, exactly, and so does everybody else.
As a Canadian, right?
With their blacked out profiles, right? They all know. I think it's almost disrespectful for me to jump in on that.
I just thought that was weird.
There has to be a certain number allowed, and then you're like, all right, that's the cutoff. Nobody more.
Chris Jericho posting all kind of he seemed like he was more active on Instagram than he was on Twitter. Because I kept seeing all this bullshit on his page, and then like I said, he posted the wrong thing, and he'd go, like I said, he said something about, he's like, hey guys, let's just be good to each other. I understand, there's a lot of hurt here, and sorry for George Floyd's family, but let's not be right. And then all of a sudden he's apologizing. He's like,
it's not enough, man.
And I was just like, oh, he's like, how dare you talk about people rioting, looting, and
that's why you can't say anything. You have to just shut up.
Well, and the thing is,
he's trying to engage with people. It was weird. The whole thing was crazy to me.
People don't want to be engaged with. They want you to just nod your head and say yes. That's what it is. right now, in this particular moment. Yes,
so just tell me what to say.
Nod your head, say yes.
Yeah, and then we'll be done with it. And then, like Antonio says, well, there's still 364 other days.
Yeah.
But I love Black History Month. It's the shortest month of the year. Good way to pick it out.
Yeah, I just thought that whole thing was weird because I was like, Chris Jericho seems like he's gonna be a politician because if he gets any blowback, he either ignores it or he tries to pivot and say, no, I didn't mean it like that. Obviously,
the wind's blowing that way this week.
Yeah, and that was just. Like I said, so I just thought that was weird because he's ignored. Jim Cornette's tagged him a few times trying to get him, like especially when that Donald Trump Jr. picture and stuff like that, and he's just like, I'm not going to say anything to Jim Cornette, even though I've known him for like 27 years. Blah blah blah. I'm not going to say, but he's talking to fans that are telling them that you don't understand when you're talking about. No, I understand people are in pain, and I definitely understand that. And what happened to George Floyd is a tragedy, but the rioting and the taking people and destroying businesses, which makes sense to me. And I'm black. Hello, I'm black. People are going to be out of work because their business is shut down and their employees aren't going to be able to earn a living. Oh my God. Obviously,
hopefully we're getting through COVID during this whole time.
Yeah, that's another thing I said. The COVID is still out. We didn't solve COVID. COVID is still COVID's
exists. Over. It's done. It's
5,000 people in one space.
It's over. COVID is done, man.
The thing that really pissed me off there was an article where I can't remember it's one of the news groups I follow, and when COVID was going around and all these small business owners were saying that like we want to open it, and they were protesting that, and they're like, you people are the most awful people in the world. You people, do you know what you're doing? And then the same people with this got 5,000 people all crammed together, and they're all going.
It's the same people. The same people that said don't. The same people that said don't leave your house are now saying leave your house and protest.
Yeah, and this
because white people. Am I right?
This was an article written by those two. There were two articles written by the same woman within the span of 30 days. But it's listen. If you want to say Black Lives Matter, say Black Lives Matter. I don't care. You're not saying that just Black Lives Matter. I get that. It's just other people. Just be good. Just be good people.
In an attempt to talk about it without saying it, people say other things, and it's just not enough for so many people. Yeah. And it's gotten into wrestling. Yeah. It's gotten my life as a comic book store owner, and all sorts of other things that on the periphery of just existence. And you just can't ignore it anymore. And you're like, oh, wow, this person's getting attacked.
What we need now more than anything is actual dialogue and talking to each other. But nobody on either people on the extreme people on the extreme left and the people on the extreme right. Nobody wants to talk to each other. They want to talk at each other.
Well, even these milquetoast like comments are at least engaging in conversation, but
it's
nobody wants
definitely
to have
bled
it.
into sports. I tweeted out an article from Vic, the coach of the Denver Broncos, Vic Fangio. He had done an interview and he said, "I haven't experienced any racism in the NFL." Blah blah blah. Obviously he's a white guy, and he got some blowback.
That's a lie. That's not true.
I mean, except for in my own bedroom.
He got some blowback. He got some blowback for saying that he hasn't experienced any racism in he's saying him. He's not saying anybody else. He was just talking about his own personal experience. But he got beat down and called a bigot, and people. Tony Dungy came out. He's like, it was very insensitive, and he's not. He's
Tony Dungy,
Tony Dungy gave us that. So you start getting, other players around the NFL, and so he came out and he put out a statement. He had, "I am so sorry. I did not mean to be. My comments were insensitive. All this kind of thing." Wait a minute. What are you sharing, Bob? Hold on.
Doesn't like Tony Dungy?
Batman has spoken.
What is Bob doing?
Batman has spoken. This is the end of it.
Okay, hold up. Show whatever. I don't know what this is.
I can't even see it.
He condemns looting.
Batman the animated series, and Kevin Conroy condemns looting. Batman has spoken. That's it.
Well, he'll never voice another Batman again, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I'm going to make
canceled.
There you go. I'm making it my life's mission. Kevin Conroy will never.
One thing, when I tweeted out the article with Vic Fangio putting out the apology, the thing I said, look, nothing changed. He still feels the way he feels, but now he's just going to keep his mouth shut, and you're not going to be able to have a dialogue with him.
Right. Well, I've said, I mean, you can't have that conversation with people either, because you're like, well, you're giving credence to these people that have these views that aren't, conducive to, reality anymore. And it's like, well, you can shut them up, but they still believe it.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, so dogpiling on him and telling him that he's he's a bigot and all this kind of thing is not going to solve that. It's not going to solve it in the wrestling business, basketball, any of these sport companies where people are having differing opinions on this shit. So it's not going to solve anything. So, like I said, Jericho seems like he waffles. He's trying to do the right thing, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't think people understood what I meant." And then so he has to go back and backtrack and post something else and do this. And I'm like, "Stop! Get off social media, take a break for a minute, Chris."
Well, a lot of people were doing that. Like, we kind of said that before. The Blackout Tuesday was part of that. I think I'll just escape this right now.
Yeah, I didn't participate at all, but I was going down my timeline and everybody had the little black thing up, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Weren't you supposed to do that? Weren't you supposed to do that and shut up?
Yeah, I was apparently.
But I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be
everybody
promoting.
did that and then continued to run their mouth all day.
Yeah.
No, there were people that didn't do it, and it got called racist for not doing it. I saw some people having arguments with
that
people.
one.
Yeah, they were like, why aren't you supporting the blackout? And I was sitting there, the guys defending why he didn't, because he was still posting regular content. And I was like, my God, if that doesn't make him a racist, stop.
Antonio, yes. I'm racist. You know why?
Uh-oh.
Because the color of my skin. I'm racist.
By the nature of your skin, you are indeed a racist.
It's so messed up. It's so messed up now.
At the end of the day,
how can you be anything else?
Just do what you think you need to do to be a good person.
All right.
I don't like being told what to do, Bob. I mean, seriously, like when it's a bunch of people saying you're a piece of shit because you didn't do this, you fuck yourself. Seriously.
That's what I'm saying. You get off social. You gotta get outside your house. Get off social media. Just be a good person.
So take that, Riker.
There you go. Okay, so
full circle. Full circle.
Okay, so let's talk about that was my favorite part of AEW Dynamite. Britt Baker, the little segment with her. That was my favorite part.
She couldn't hold that one weight. What was it, 10 pounds?
Put it in reverse.
Yeah, when he handed her the weight and her hand dropped down.
She got upset and she threw that.
She had the two ropes, and she was like, and they were barely moving. I mean, she had me in tears. I watched it a couple times. It was so great. Shivani was in it, and it was like, the whole thing. The the thing with Big Swole, I was not feeling that shit.
I thought her promo was pretty good.
I thought her match was pretty
I
good. I thought her match was pretty good.
She definitely looked like she had some ring rust because she hasn't wrestled in a couple of months.
Whoa, are you kidding? I thought it was her best match in AEW.
That's probably the reason,
I think what she was doing in that off time is she was working on her stuff. So I mean,
I liked her promo. She was like, she addressed the 2 months absence. She said, that it was frustrating for her, and she really had some fire. She talked about losing the match, but they ain't going to be that big a deal because, she's coming forward. And if only I could believe it in ring.
No, that was the best part of the show to me. I loved that. They had me crying.
What about the FTR interview? I thought that was good.
That was a great thing. But I mean, it's just setting up, butchering the blade next week. So.
I thought Colt Cabana and Chris Jericho was amazing.
Dude, there were two legit, really great matches on this.
No, wait, hold on.
You can't be skipping my match that I'm ready to talk about.
No, go ahead. No, let's talk about Jericho Colt Cabana because my favorite part, Sammy Guevara doing Judas. I love it. That's
so not even synced up. No. Like it's good. I love it.
Do you guys think that the rumor is true that they're going to try to turn him face?
Not for a while.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They don't.
Let him learn how to be a heel under Jericho.
Yeah.
I love the match because it was Colt Cabana, Chris Jericho. Like Chris Jericho working these jobbers, and he comes out like he comes out and they're building the Mike Tyson thing, right? He's throwing the punches, boom, 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 and he taters Cabana, and Cabana lights his ass up. I'm talking chops, punches, forearms. Colt Cabana is like, look, I ain't a bitch. Like I've been in this wrestling business for a long time. I'm going to give you a few receipts, and then we're going to get back into the match. And Colt Cabana lit him up. I love the match. I thought it was a great match.
I'm going to look at that again.
Oh, go watch it.
It reminds me.
Colt was bleeding.
Yes.
And he lit Jericho up.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Can we talk about Cody? Stop
every freaking match
yourself every damn match.
I got no problem with it. I got no problem.
I think it's too much. I think it's going over the
top. How many times has he bladed in AEW? 3 times?
How many times has he bladed in his last
AEW period has been what, 3 times?
I think it's 4. I think it's 4.
That first cage match you had against Wardlow, I know he definitely
cage match against Wardlow. He didn't blade, but he bled the hard way.
Oh, was that a hard way? Because I know at the pay
no, during Dean Ambrose's match, right?
Yeah, during the Ambrose match.
But he might not have bladed. He also landed on his head on purpose.
That was hard way. That was hard way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I meant to do it hard way.
He's trying to make that TNT title relevant.
Yeah.
And he was going out there and having pay-per-view quality matches, blading and going the full 9. I loved it. I love the main event. I love Jericho, Colt Cabana. I thought Big Swole had the best match of her life. I loved Dynamite.
I think Cody is trying to channel his dad.
He would be able to cheese grate on his damn forehead. Just
is there a problem with that?
No, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think that he's a different wrestler. I thought, dude, the friggin' the match he had with Jungle Boy was fantastic.
Yeah, amazing. It was amazing. Really good match.
But the other thing that we got to talk about, man, is that promo that Tully cut.
Why did they cut that short?
I don't know. Yeah. But
the Twitter promo was the promo of the year. Like I think I sent you guys a message and said, "This is how you cut Tully, but maybe the best promo of his career."
So he gave
everybody the black glove. The black glove.
Sean
black
Spears,
glove, no
right?
love.
Now, who do you think of when you see the black glove? I'm just asking you guys right now. Because me personally, Bad News Brown.
If you go to Google and put in black glove, it immediately pops up. Black glove wrestling.
Oh, really? Because I went Olympics and I saw that instead.
I don't think a lot of people understand what it is.
Yeah. But
they said a lot of people have worn a black glove, but they didn't say any of the names.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
What's his name? What Barry Windham did when he was doing the in NWA, he was doing the claw and stuff. He did.
There you go.
Wasn't one of the
Blackjack Mulligan?
Blackjack Mulligan. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Recently, didn't AJ? Well, he has gloves.
Seth said he was doing it because he had to splint his finger. It has nothing to do with.
But he kept
history.
it after that. But
I don't think like when they unveiled it, I was like, nobody's gonna know what this is.
Yeah.
They
But
only
here's the
alluded
thing.
to it.
If this takes Sean Spears and turns him into a friggin' animal,
Sean
I'm all
Spears
for it.
puts me to sleep every time he's on the screen, dude.
But working so hard for him.
Do you think it was intentional that they did all that goofiness only for Tully to cut the promo and be like, "Listen here, bitch"?
Well, when at the Double or Nothing, when they pulled his pants down and he had Tully on his underwear, I was
he was
done, dude.
But do you think it was to get to this point? Is what I'm saying.
I
they
think
probably
so.
planned it out. Yeah,
I think so. I think they realized that he was cooling off a little bit, and they said we need to do something to light a fire in this guy.
When Tully cut that promo,
DiBiase, that's right. DiBiase wore one too.
If you've not seen the promo, go to AEW and scroll down until you can catch the full.
I think it's on.
I retweeted it. Yeah, it's on ours. Go to @WrestleCouncil on Twitter, and it's just a couple of tweets down. It's so good because he starts off so calm and he gets so pissed, and it's so good. And then, like something Bob touched on a few weeks ago, we all kind of talked about it when Cody like pulled Brandy in front, and like we're like, is he turning heel? And then last night he was very aggressive. But then when he hugged Jungle Boy and all that stuff, I was kind of like, okay.
all over him.
I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I was like,
let me bleed all over Jungle Boy. That's all.
I was like, is he turning? Like, is he turning? Are we going to see Cody and Sean Spears and FTR form the Four Horsemen?
I would not.
You know the Four Horsemen.
Episode, I think, if not the second episode that we did. We talked about that.
People, they're putting up the 4. You're seeing it a lot. You're seeing,
and they just signed Arn to a 2-year deal.
So, what did you guys think about the FTR? Did we talk about that? I don't think we really talked about. Oh, we kind of did.
It was a good little promo. And they're setting up a match that means nothing. They're going to beat Butcher and the Blade, and
so they ran down. All right, so we've talked earlier in the show how WWE has no tag teams really. Like their division sucks.
Yeah,
and maybe it's because like they have more than one. But here we have AEW, and FTR is listing all the teams, and they leave out the Bucks. And they're like
beautiful. That's storytelling.
It's that storytelling where they take it slow and they build. They're like, we're not gonna wrestle the Bucks. We're gonna fight the Bucks.
And we don't want to wrestle until they're healthy.
Yeah,
over healthy.
Yeah, FTR is going to be on the Jim Cornette Experience.
Oh my God.
I am very much looking forward to that.
It'll be so good.
Yeah,
I'm excited. They're sitting down because that's one thing. Corny loves them because they respect the business. They've always they've even done the Veg-O-Matic as a finisher and all this kind of thing. So I'm like, I'm really.
They said Lucha House, or no, not Lucha House.
Oh, the whatever they don't understand
brothers
tag team wrestling or whatever.
They're like, oh, we're gonna teach them how to tag team wrestle.
The lamest version, dude. No, you cannot say anybody is the lamest version of the Four Horsemen when Mungo McMichael exists.
Oh no, there's a funny botch. Someone who tweeted that out the other day.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
They said Nia is the new Mungo McMichael.
He was trying to pick Sting up, and Arn. They even show you can see Arn's face as Mongo was trying to set him. He just started laughing because he started laughing because he dropped Sting, and it was just like.
Did you see Brian Cage struggle on that suplex?
He struggled hard.
Was that all right? So he was obviously wrestling somebody who isn't fully experienced, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Was that guy like what do they call it? Sandbagging him or just not doing it right?
I think the timing. It's a timing issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like if
he ain't sandbagging him on.
Well, I mean, I just a word I know.
If they don't push off when he's pulling up like that, man, it turns into just pure power to get him up. And that's
I'm pretty impressed he got him up then because
he's
usually one.
Dude.
He eats steroids for breakfast.
Yeah. Nobody. They don't make steroids anymore. They just take his blood and give it to people.
When at the beginning of AEW, when they say that your voice is heard, were they talking about his contact for
speaking of steroids, Ryback cut a promo on Jim Cornette over his Becky Lynch pregnancy thing and said that someone should meet Mr. Cornette and leave him laying, and which of course Cornette had a problem with. So I thought that was funny. I was thinking that Ryback was going to sign to AEW. He's still not.
I think he's coming. He has.
He's never going to come.
You think he's coming? You really think they're going to take Ryback to AEW?
I think they're going to, and I think they should. And I think you all are wrong for saying that they shouldn't.
Unless Dean Ambrose is just going to have a villain of the week type thing, then that's fine.
He's been training because he's been like, if you look on his YouTube channel, like he's like, yeah, I just want to, I'm trying to get back in the ring shape, blah blah blah. He's doing all the things, so it's clear he's training for something. He said he wants to have his career end on his terms and go out the right way. So
it's ended.
Well, he's like 38 now, almost 39. So I mean, he can still have some. He's still on his channel, he's still jacked and he's got his supplements and all that. So I think
supplements work. Let me tell you something. Like his supplement, I leg press 6 bills today.
Wow.
For no reason. For no reason. I sent a picture. I'm just like humble bragging. I'm humble. It might as well be steroids. They work. He has a testosterone booster, Bob. Let me tell you, brother, use it. I'm telling you.
If I did that stuff, my heart would explode, man.
No, man. But I drank. Look. Full disclosure. I drank 3 energy drinks and popped 5 testosterone pills from Ryback today, and just did work at the gym.
Good God, dude.
Loved it. I pressed 6 bills.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
I couldn't drink 3 energy drinks.
I pressed. That's a personal record for me. 6 bills is a personal record, and I didn't just press it. I repped it 8 times. Like I could have done more. I could have thrown more.
Look, he's gonna have shit coming out of his mouth.
Oh God!
I haven't maxed out that. I did do leg day for the first time in like a month and a half on Monday, and I basically was like weighing life choices of whether or not I needed to like sit down and take a shit for 3 days. Today's the first day that I can actually like sit down without it hurting. So.
I'm wondering if I can walk. I'm wondering if I'll be able to walk tomorrow. You're gonna
be hurting, dude. You're gonna be
tomorrow. Okay. Well, anything else on AEW before we close this?
Whatever.
I think we're done, but we got to take care of some business. Are we doing the pay-per-view on Sunday, or what's?
I am down for it, but
I would rather not. I think we should do the main ones, and that's it.
That's my thought process too. Maybe do the main ones.
A main thing.
No.
You'll
NXT. But now, what I would be opposed to
Antonio will hang out.
We have Backlash coming. Hey, I could actually still stream it. Yeah, anybody who wants to come can come. It won't obviously.
What I was saying is that what we could do is that we could do like a quick recap on Monday.
Sounds good.
Or if you guys want to do it, I'm not opposed to it.
I would rather if we're gonna do it, then I would rather do it live than do a random show on Monday.
People love it live.
But I would love it live. My personal preference, I would rather do the big shows because I think if we do these too many times, then they might get kind of old.
They'll get stale.
They'll get stale. But if you're not, I'm not opposed to it. So
doing it once or twice a month isn't doing it all the time. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, AEW is only like every few months. So like,
that's what I'm saying. And then so they're gonna do 2 WWE pay-per-views this month. So we're gonna have Backlash, and then we'll have this one. So I mean, I don't think that would only be 2 times this month.
And I'm free now. Like Comcast is dead, so I'm like we can rotate WWE pay-per-views.
I would love to do it. I would love to stream it.
I'm down. Then let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right.
I mean, we'll do it. All of us will be there.
And it's Antonio's turn, so we'll stream it right here.
All right.
There you go. All right, so be back Sunday, and then
let's do it on the main card only. Let's not do the pre-show. Let's go live at 8.
Yeah, main card.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
So we'll do that, and then we're gonna come back on Thursday on the Talking Balls Network now, with my man Boogie. So we're gonna do that, and each and every week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Comic with Bob, Yule Carter, and my main man, Boogie Bentley. I'm Antonio Bryce, back brand, way of the gun, AkariPress.com. Wrestling Council.
We out.